What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today is going to be my DVD collection for 2012 and on to the thriller section. So let's get started. Up first we have Air Force One, a great action thriller with Harrison Ford, Gary Oldman, Rene Russo, from 1997. Next we have The American on Blu-ray from 2010. Really good film with George Clooney. Really enjoyed that movie. Next we have Arlington Road, criminally underrated movie with Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges from 1999. Great film about sort of terrorism and FBI specialist. Next we have Bad Day at Black Rock from I believe this is 1955 with Spencer Tracy and Robert Ryan. Great film, that one. Next we have Basic Instinct, a classic of course, with Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone from 1992. Okay, next we have Black Swan on Blu-ray from 2010. Great film directed by Darren Aronofsky with amazing performances by Natalie Portman, Mila Kunis, Vincent Cassel. Yeah, just a great movie. Next we have Blood Simple, one of my favorite films by the Coen brothers. Great film from 1984 with John Getz, Frances McDormand, and Dan Hedaya. Next we have Body Heat from 1981 with William Hurt and Kathleen Turner. Very sexy thriller. Okay, next we have Bound from 1996 with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, Joe Pantoliano. Just a great movie. Very sexy as well. Next we have Buried on Blu-ray from 2010 with Ryan Reynolds. An intense movie, all filmed in basically one location. Ryan Reynolds buried in a box out in the Iraqi desert. Next we have the original Cape Fear from 1962 with Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum. And I also have the remake, the 1991 Martin Scorsese film. Brilliant performance by Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange. What's her name? Great as well. I'm forgetting her name now. Juliette Lewis, sorry. Okay, next we have Cellular from 2004, I believe. A really good thriller with Chris Evans and Kim Basinger, Jason Statham, William H. Macy. Next we have Changing Lanes from 2002 with Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson. Really underrated movie. Next we have The Constant Gardener from 2005 with Academy Award winning performance by Rachel Weisz and Ralph Fiennes. Next we have Contagion, or Contagion, however you want to say it. Great movie from 2011 directed by Steven Soderbergh. Brilliant cast: Matt Damon, Kate Winslet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Lawrence Fishburne, Marion Cotillard, Jude Law. Great film about a worldwide epidemic. Next we have The Conversation, classic from 1974 with Gene Hackman, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. One of the greatest films of the 70s. Next we have The Crimson Rivers from 2001, really good French thriller directed by Matthew Kassovitz with Jean Reno and Vincent Cassel. Next we have The Day of the Jackal from 1973, a great film by Fred Zinman starring Robert Fox. Edward Fox, sorry. The Jackal with Bruce Willis. Not as good remake as the original. Next we have Deliverance, classic of course from 1972 with John Voight and Burt Reynolds. Love the dueling banjos theme. Yeah, Deliverance is a great film. Next we have Devil's Advocate from 1998 with, or 97, one of those two, with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. Charlize Theron, Connie Nielsen. Not great, sort of a guilty pleasure. Next we have Dial M for Murder. Classic from Alfred Hitchcock, of course, from 1954 with Ray Milland, Grace Kelly, and Robert Cummings. One of my favorite Hitchcock films. Next we have The Disappearance of Alice Creed on Blu-ray. Really good recent thriller with Gemma Arterton, Martin Compston, and Eddie Marsan. Just saw her in Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Next we have Double Jeopardy from 1999 with Tommy Lee Jones and Ashley Judd. One of the seemingly many thrillers Ashley Judd did in the 2000s, late 90s. Next we have Dress to Kill, brilliant Brian De Palma film from 1980 with Michael Caine, Angie Dickinson, and Nancy Allen. Next we have Steven Spielberg's original film, Duel, from 1971. Great film with Dennis Weaver going up against a menacing trucker. Next we have Eagle Eye from 2008 with Shia LaBeouf, Michelle Monaghan, and Billy Bob Thornton. I really enjoyed this. Really good sort of high-tech modern thriller with some cool twists. Next we have Eye of the Needle from 1981. Great film set during World War II with Donald Sutherland and Kate Nelligan. Really good, that movie. Next we have Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut from 1999. Of course with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Sadly, Stanley Kubrick's last film. Next we have Falling Down, classic from 1993 with Michael Douglas, of course, going on a rampage in Los Angeles. Next we have Family Plot, one of Hitchcock's latest films, maybe his last, from 1976, I think, with Karen Black and Bruce Dern. Really good though, I really enjoy Family Plot. Next we have Fatal Attraction from 1987, classic of course with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. Fight Club needs no explanation, everybody loves Fight Club. Frenzy, also one of Hitch's latest films from 1972 with John Finch and Barry Foster. Really good, I really like Frenzy as well. Next we have From Hell from 2001. I really enjoy this film with Johnny Depp and Heather Graham. Just sort of eat anything up that has to do with Jack the Ripper in this film by the Hughes brothers. Has a great atmosphere, good performances. Sort of strays in parts, but I still enjoy it. Next we have The Ghost Rider on Blu-ray. A really good film directed by Roman Polanski with great performances by Pierce Brosnan, Ewan McGregor, Kim Cattrall, and Olivia Williams from 2010, I believe. Next we have Hannibal from 2001, Ridley Scott film, of course with Anthony Hopkins and Julianne Moore. Not great, the ending's ridiculous. Next we have Hard Candy from 2005, a great film with Patrick Wilson and Ellen Page, Sandra Oh. Next we have the original The Hitcher from 1986 with Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Was not a fan of the remake with Sean Bean. It's okay, but not enough for me to buy it really. Next we have The Jacket from 2005, really underrated film with Adrian Brody and Keira Knightley. Jaws, classic, that's all you need to see. Next we have Joyride from 2001, a really good thriller with Steve Zahn, Paul Walker, and Lily Sobieski, known as Roadkill in the UK and Australia. Next we have California from 1993, one of my recent pickups with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis. Okay, next we have The Man Who Knew Too Much, Hitchcock's other version of the same title from 1956 with Jimmy Stewart and Doris Day. Of course, you got the classic song by Doris Day in that film, Que Sera. A really great moment, that scene. Next we have The Manchurian Candidate, the original from 1962 with Frank Sinatra, Lawrence Harvey, and Jeanette Leigh. The not as good remake. It's still pretty good with Denzel Washington, Meryl Streep, and Liev Schreiber from 2006, I believe. Okay, next we have Marathon Man, a great thriller from 1976 with Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier, Roy Scheider, and William Devane. Lots of Hitchcock in this collection. Next we have Marnie from 1964 with Tippi Hedren and Sean Connery. Okay, next we have Match Point from 2005. Great movie directed by Woody Allen, of course, with Scarlett Johansson, Matthew Good, Brian Cox, Emily Mortimer, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Yeah, really good movie that. Probably my favorite of Woody's last half a dozen films. Next we have Michael Clayton. Great film, of course, from 2007, I believe, with George Clooney, Tom Wilkinson, Tilda Swinton, and Sidney Pollack. Next we have Misery, classic, of course, from 1992 with James Caan and Kathy Bates. Next we have North by Northwest, my all-time favorite Hitchcock film, just a brilliant movie from 1949 with Cary Grant, Ava Marie Saint, and James Mason. Next we have 1 Hour Photo from 2002, really good performance by Robin Williams, very scary, good film. Next we have Outbreak, sort of the father to Contagion, if you like. I love Outbreak, great film from 1995 with Dustin Hoffman, Rene Russo, Morgan Freeman. Yeah, great movie. These damn snapper cases, I hate you. See, that's what happens. It gets caught on the other DVD and it pulls them both out. Pacific Heights from 1990, a really good thriller with Melanie Griffith, Matthew Modine, and Michael Keaton. And the other one that fell out, Panic Room, classic with Jodie Foster, directed by David Fincher from 2002. Next we have A Perfect Murder, sort of a remake to Dial M for Murder from 1997 with Michael Douglas, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Viggo Mortensen. Not as good, obviously, but good cast, and it's a solid story. Next we have Phone Booth from 2002. Really good film directed by Joel Schumacher. After sort of he ruined the original Batman franchise, I thought he bounced back with this film with Colin Farrell, Forrest Whitaker, and Kiefer Sutherland. Next we have Ransom from 1996, I believe, or 7. Good Ron Howard film with Mel Gibson, of course. Rene Russo as well. Next we have Ravenous, great film from 1999 with Guy Pearce, Robert Carlyle, and David Arquette. I know a lot of horror fans are fond of that one. Next we have Red Dragon from 2005. I like this more than Hannibal, but obviously not as much as The Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, Ed Norton and Anthony Hopkins, always good. Next we have Reindeer Games from 2000 with Ben Affleck, Gary Sinise, and Charlize Theron. It's silly at times, but I enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. Next we have Rising Sun from 1993 with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, one of my recent pickups. Going to be re-watching that this month. Next we have Runaway Train from 1985. Great, exciting thriller with John Voight, Eric Roberts, and Rebecca De Mornay. Okay, moving on down. We have The Russia House from 1990. With Sean Connery and Michelle Pfeiffer, based on a John le Carré novel. Okay, next we have another Hitchcock classic, and that's Saboteur from 1942 with Priscilla Lane and Robert Cummings. Next we have Seven, one of Scott's, aka Cineram's favorite films. Just a great movie. I absolutely love Seven. David Fincher's sort of major debut, if you don't count Alien 3. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey, all brilliant. Yeah, Seven's one of the best thrillers of all time, in the 90s, of course. Next we have Shutter Island from 2010 on Blu-ray with Leo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo. directed by Martin Scorsese. Was not a fan of this film at first because I sort of hate the ending, and I still do, but it's Scorsese and Leo, I mean, you can't go wrong. The Silence of the Lambs from 1991, of course, one of the best thrillers of all time with Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Scott Glenn. Also have the Criterion Collection edition of this movie. Next we have Sorcerer from 1977, a really underrated film directed by William Friedkin, starring Roy Scheider. Next we have Taken, great thriller of course from 2008, starring Liam Neeson, Maggie Grace. Yeah, I still enjoy the first Taken a lot. Taken 2 was sort of a disappointment, pretty much more of the same, but I'll probably get it anyway. Okay, next we have The Talented Mr. Ripley from, when this came out, 1999, one of Matt Damon's best performances. I was contemplating doing this for Matt Damon Week because it's a really good film directed by Anthony Minghella, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, and Cate Blanchett. Fantastic supporting cast, really good. I love this movie. Next we have Unbreakable from 2000, one of M. Night Shyamalan's really good films, obviously, with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Okay, next we have Unstoppable from 2011 on Blu-ray. Tony Scott's last film, yeah. Very sad that he's gone. Really good thriller, Denzel Washington and Chris Pine trying to stop a freight train. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Next we have Wait Until Dark from 1967, classic with Audrey Hepburn, a younger Alan Arkin and Richard Crenna. Next we have War Games from 1983, one of my favorite films of the 80s with Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy, Dabney Coleman, and John Wood. Yeah, I love War Games. I've seen it countless times. And last but not least, thank you for that, we have Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, classic with Bette Davis and Joan Crawford from 1962, one of the best thrillers of the 60s, bar none. So that's the thrillers. I sort of rushed through it because it's pretty big, and I didn't really want to do 2 videos for this. So moving on, up next will be the war section. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya.